Northern Territory Chief Minister Lia Finocchiaro says her government will defund the Environmental Defenders Office as she hits out at anti-gas protesters. Matt Cunningham is at the NT Resources Week conference in Darwin, where the Chief Minister has given one of her first major speeches since winning the election.
That's right, Kieran, and she had some pretty stern words for environmental protesters. There was a large group that was gathered out the front of this conference at the Darwin Convention Centre protesting against fracking, against the onshore gas industry. Well, Lia Finocchiaro, she was having no bar of that. She said in her speech that she would defund the Environmental Defenders Office. You'll remember earlier this year that lawyers from the EDO in a federal court judgment were accused of distorting and manipulating the views of Tiwi Islanders as they tried to fight a gas pipeline off the north coast of Darwin that was being built by Santos. Lia Finocchiaro, during that speech, she made it clear that her new government was going to be pro-business, was going to be about getting things done, and she had those stern words as well for those protesters who were outside.
One of the other key things we will do is cease funding of the Environmental Defenders Office following the judgment in the Santos Barossa case decision. We've been very clear on that. Very clear on that. And the activists standing out the front, you are wasting your time. Go back to Victoria or wherever else you want to cause trouble, but you are not welcome here.
You would have heard, Kieran, a warm round of applause for the Chief Minister when she made those comments about defunding the Environmental Defenders Office. It has been a hot topic here in the Northern Territory, as has the development of gas in the Beetaloo Basin. Now, we know that at the weekend, the Federal Environment Minister, Tanya Plibersek, announced a further review of onshore gas fracking in the Beetaloo Basin, specifically when it comes to water. She's asked an independent panel of scientists to review the impact of fracking in the Beetaloo on water resources. I spoke to Susan McDonald just before this conference began. She, of course, is the Opposition Resources spokesperson. Here's what she had to say in relation to that matter.
It has been examined over and over and over again. All the Albanese government is good for is reviews. They never take action. And it is time for the Northern Territory to get action on important economic and investment projects like the Beetaloo.
We've also heard at this conference from Madeleine King, the Resources Minister, the Minister for Northern Australia. She has explained why the government is deciding to have another look at this water issue in the Beetaloo Basin, even though it has been reviewed before during several other inquiries.
It's a federal overlay, if you like, but a very important one that will reassure people. Well, it will do what it has to do and find out if water is indeed an issue in relation to the extraction of gas from the Beetaloo.
And just in some breaking news on the same issue, Kieran, I can tell you that Tamboran Resources, another company that's fracking for gas in the Beetaloo Basin, has just won a case in the Supreme Court, a challenge that had been made to its onshore gas development projects on the basis of climate change. It had been run by some of those environmental lawyers, but the Supreme Court this morning has ruled in Tamboran Resources' favour. Both Tamboran and Empire Energy, the two main players in the Beetaloo Basin, are hoping to produce their first gas by sometime next year.